Welcome in. It is the ATB show. You go to atbshow.com. You can find all of us there, should you choose, which is a pleasure. My name's Tim in beautiful downtown New Hampshire. Scotty Dukes with the cocktail of the day in beautiful downtown Maine. And Little Shoes and Rubber Shoes in Lowell Studio A and Lowell Studio B, which we're having a discussion. Adam is on assignment this week. We're having a discussion about
one member of our group every week.
The capital technical budget for 2023. And Rubber Shoes is proclaiming that, and you look phenomenal, Rubber Shoes, by the way. I mean, sexy as hell. Yeah. And digitally, you look fantastic on screen. He swears, practice saying this without crying or laughing, loads of therapy. He's broadcasting from his iPad, which he claims is not more than a year old.
Correct.
So you have the iPad Pro with the Retina screen and the phenomenal camera. Yeah, you look great. You look like Little Shoes comes in. He's marching around. He's drinking, I don't know, some sort of a Red Bull that looks like
miniature.
You know what it looks like? Those little things that you got at the 4th of July, the little plastic things that the little poppers.
Yeah,
it looks like like everything in his hand looks so miniaturized. Look at it. Unbelievable. Anyway, here we are. atbshow.com. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Subscribe, share, like, comment. Everybody's holding up their cocktail. Scotty, what do you got going on? You already shared it with us, but let's discuss.
I did, yeah. So it's a peanut butter whiskey. It was one of those things where I wasn't sure how it was going to go down, but it's really nice.
I have an almost full bottle of that at the house because we've got that last holiday season. We were discussing offline, if you mix the Screwball peanut butter whiskey with like the Godiva chocolate liqueur, it's like a Reese's peanut butter cup.
I got a bit of.
If you're so inclined, go ahead. What's happening?
We got this right here, a Sprite cranberry.
Oh, I don't hate that. Where'd you track that down?
This is from. It expired August 19th, 2019.
I love it. Give it a whirl. Give it a whirl.
I just told myself I'm gonna keep one sealed because
I got screamed at today. We bought. This is leaving Austin in August, mind you. We're leaving an event with my company in August. We get to the airport and we weren't sure what we were going to grab. So me and my teammate Zoe, we go over and we get these pressed juices, and she started to drink hers, probably drank hers on the flight or something. But we ended up actually getting to a restaurant, sitting down, chicken flickins, beer, all the stuff. So mine just goes in the side pocket of my backpack that I travel, my carry-on bag. It meandered all the way back to the office here in Portsmouth, made it into my fridge, and I grabbed it today. So I pop it this morning before I get on my first call. I took one tiny little sip, and it was fine. And then she caught me with the balance of it, which I didn't go any further than that initial little sip. And there's ginger in it, like a typical pressed juice that you pay too much for at pick your store, right? She's like, that's non-pasteurized. That's going to kill you, which the jury's out because I didn't drink it because I didn't want to trust her because we had a huge company meeting today. I'm like, I don't know if I want to die in front of the company today. So I didn't finish it, although I don't necessarily believe. And what we couldn't figure out because of the ridiculousness of pricing for pressed juice in the wild, never mind at an airport, we couldn't figure out if the 10.25 on the back was the price or the use by date. So I threw it out.
Nice.
Anyway, also not a sponsor, Celsius, which I am drinking. But I'm actually going to, these are great, by the way. These are phenomenal.
Yeah, shout out Celsius. Apple pear, best flavor, though.
I believe you. There's an Arctic Chill. I just got a rack of the Arctic Chill. Those are good. And before we get to our true sponsor, one more not sponsor. We had these in studio last week, but this is Lord Hobo, the Boom Sauce, in honor of the Celtics and last night's game, which we'll get to after we discuss not our team and the baseball playoffs, all brought to you by our friends at AAA Work Trucks. Rubber Shoes, take it away.
AAA Work Trucks, your one-stop shop for all your work truck needs. If it goes in or on a vehicle, give AAA a call at 866-783-6222 or check them out online at aaaworktrucks.com.
What a shill.
Why were you giggling?
That's his big moment. Right? I throw it over to him to crush the reed. And he starts laughing, and you want to be my latex salesman. You'll notice the hot corner is Vondelay Industries because Vondelay was in, and I loved it. I thought outside of him not getting the calls that a lot of other people in the NBA might get, I think the refs were I don't know, breaking in their whistles last night. What was happening? We'll get there. Let's talk baseball. So game 1 NLCS is tonight. Yes.
No, game 2 tonight. This is
Oh,
game
game
2.
1 was last night. I apologize. Yeah, I was
Philadelphia
driving
won
home.
last night.
Driving home yesterday. It was 5-1 Yankees. I'm like, shit. Not that I want the Guardians to ever win anything. I want them to lose for the rest of forever because of their stupid name change.
Yeah.
And
Scored the Yankees though. It's
yeah, wasn't great. Wasn't great. But talk to me about the baseball. What happened last night? Why should we care? Because I don't. Keep going.
Well, we should care that, guy we had on our team last year, Schwarber, hit a home run, and he's been raking in the playoffs. So
holy crap! I forgot we had him.
Yeah, he was ours. Yep.
It was like a bomb, too. It was like
Yeah.
480 feet or something ridiculous.
488. Even Bryce Harper looked at it, was like, holy.
Yeah.
Can't say.
It
That's
was
my
a bomb.
Yeah.
watching.
It was a bomb. Yeah, it's not looking good for
High
Alex
multiplier.
right now. They're down. They lost 2-0 yesterday, and they're down 4-0 already in the second.
Oh,
So
no.
it's not
What's
looking spectacular for Miniac. So
Go
Are
Phillies.
they, both games been in Philly? Or are they in
in San Diego, I think they're both in San Diego. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another really cool. Like obviously, I don't really have a dog in the fight on the NL side outside of the fact our dear friend Alex does the PA stuff at Petco Park and does all that stuff. This would be his first World Series opportunity should they get there, which looks like it's not going great right now. And I don't think we have anybody else in our circle of broadcast morons that has a ring from any of our Boston teams. I don't think anybody's that close to the fire that anybody's been awarded a ring. So he could have a chance to.
was Isaiah? Did he get
Isaiah
any?
knows where something's buried, so he might have got one from somebody from the Avalanche. or something.
4,000%, Dr. Moskowitz. Yeah, probably does have somebody because he was probably at some because he did like. If you don't understand, and I know everybody on our call does, but I'm trying to paint the picture for our friends at home. If you ever watch Seinfeld, Von Delay Industries, if you ever watch Seinfeld, there's the magic of Cosmo Kramer and the fact that he falls ass backwards into things, and he just shows up places, and everything seems to fall into place. That is, it's what you would explain to your friends as book smart and street smart. Now Isaiah's both, but his street smarts are off the chart. He could butter his way into any door. Like he will absolutely get into any party, any event. He's just that guy, big, huge personality. So I know he's been at events and posed with trophies, been at events and probably worn people's. I know there's a picture. I've definitely seen of him wearing somebody's ring. I don't think he's actually captured one though, for himself, but that's coming to a theater near us, I'm sure at some point. Or he'll go out to hang out with Alex in San Diego and streak the field. One of the two is on the table for sure. But yeah, I'd love to see that happen for Adam because that would be super cool. But they're down now in game 2, huh?
Yeah. It's early. It's still got a ways to go, but just how gross. It's just the ALCS is gross. I mean, Houston
exactly.
and the Yankees. It's
Go
gross.
NLCS. That's really all you can say at this point.
Yeah, at this point, like in the World Series. I mean, I think I said in the text yesterday. I'm like, I hope the ALCS has the worst ratings ever. Like I really I want them to just freaking tank. It's just the two of the like, just grossest teams ever. At least I mean, I think their fan bases are, like where you can get like you have Red Sox Nation and stuff like that, and some other ones where bandwagon and whatnot. Obviously, the Yankees are definitely going to have their bandwagon and things, but I feel like with everything that happened with Houston, I feel like they lost a bunch of fans. Yep. You know what I mean? So they are like a lot smaller. So I feel like. When it comes to TV viewership, I feel like it is going to be small, but
we shall see.
Yeah,
Yankee Nation pretty big across the country.
Hockey and basketball kicking off too now is kind of
yes, a welcome distraction. If we were in a nexus where there was nothing else going on, I got to be honest, I'd probably just be on like Reels watching on Patrol Live.
Thanks to the schedule makers, both teams played last night.
Here we go.
And we have nothing on tonight.
And then there's Maud. Here she goes. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Like right off the bat, I swear they're doing this on purpose now to bug the shit out of me.
They heard you. They're listening.
Yep, they heard you.
Unbelievable. Like first opening night for the Celtics and they have the Bruins on. Are you kidding me? After the Bruins just played the night before.
Correct.
Like they couldn't take a day off, for travel. No, they got to travel to Ottawa and play the next night night of the Celtics opening night. Oh my God. When I did the wrap up yesterday morning and found out that they were both playing that last night, I was like, are you effing kidding me?
I feel like, I don't know why, but I'm just like not mentally ready to be locked into basketball yet. Like there's so much going. Like I needed to be like at least week 13 of football to be invested in. Because when I watch basketball, I get way too into it, and I'm not ready to do that yet. I'm not ready to absolutely hate the Lakers yet. I need a couple months. I can watch their downfall from afar. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
It's
Yeah.
gonna-
It was a
gonna
nice
be-
beating last night, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So
Once again, LeBron constructed a team and he forgot to get anyone to score threes.
I'm not going to lie. I love that we're already done with baseball and onto the NBA. Love it. Let's do this.
that was the point.
Let's 1,000% do this. Great transition, Little Shoes. $4 for you. So that being said, what is the tomfoolery around Russell Westbrook wasn't in the team huddle? He's apparently
That was like the preseason stuff.
Was that a preseason thing? I felt like that was the other night. Like
that
I
was like
thought
a week and a half
they
ago.
showed it, and I think I caught it and thought it was opening night. All that aside, though,
research, buddy.
is he technically not in the starting five right now with the Lakers?
Correct.
Yeah, he's coming off the bench, which he
Fixed
like
his
talked
hand.
about, like how his hamstring tightened up and he had some issues.
Yeah.
Because he's never come off the bench before, and it was like something brand new to him. He wasn't, but it's already like there's a bunch of riff already. With the Lakers, it's one game. LeBron came out after the game and said that they're not shooting lasers out there because he's like, we're missing open shots, or the teams are letting us shoot open shots.
Yeah.
I may or may not be wrong with this, but I believe they shot 3 of 40 from 3 in the second half. I believe that was the stat.
You might be right.
Because then you had players that can't make threes just chucking them up and breaking.
Yeah, it was bad. It was a really, really, really.
And that's a bit like. I love how this just became pile on the Lakers. We haven't even touched on the Celtics. But
I'm here for it. Like
the night where LeBron had 31 and Anthony Davis had 27, and they still lost by like 20 is just so great.
10 for 40.
Yep. So yeah, I knew it was 40. Still bad.
Is it conceivable that they're a dumpster fire again? Because what move did they make?
Oh, it's no.
What move did they make
they
that's
got
going to
Dennis
move the needle
Schroeder.
for them?
They got, they also brought in Patrick Beverly, but
Yes.
that's about it. They didn't really, they brought in Lonnie Walker used to play for San Antonio, but they're not going to be very good. Look, they'll make the postseason, I think. I think they'll be like a 7. Maybe if they're lucky, they'll be a 6 or a 5. But the West is really talented.
Yeah.
And so
think
they'll make the
you should also
postseason.
note
but-
that's if they remain healthy.
Yeah.
Right.
Or everyone's talking about tanking for the kid, and I'm going to just butcher his name, Willem Matarabi. I can't pronounce his name. I'm going to look him up. But the number 1 pick that's coming up next year, who is an absolute stud. The kid that's in the G League. I don't know if you guys saw it. Like, if you haven't seen him yet, I'll send you the freaking links. He's 7'3", but he's
Oh my God, that guy's crazy. Yeah.
he's a guard, essentially. He's unbelievable.
He's
there's
7'3"
already
and he's a
teams.
guard?
One of the rumors is that Oklahoma City Thunder are going to tank with Chet Holmgren on the bench because Holmgren's done for the season.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're going to tank so that they get the number 1 pick and they can have Chet and this kid together because Chet's 7'1".
Yeah. This
with
guy's
guard
like
skill.
7'4" and moves like prime Westbrook.
He's unbelievable.
Wow.
He's got a soft touch. And the thing is, too, what I like about him is the fact that he's in the G League. So he's playing against NBA competition already, and dominating. Dominating.
Wow.
The kid's a freaking beast. Yeah, he's otherworldly talented, without a doubt. But
So when does is it start next year that the NBA can draft high school players? I know they changed it again that they're going to let them come straight to.
God, Billy, I don't know if it's this year or next, to be honest with you, bud.
It's
Yeah,
funny you
it's
say
good.
that. I sort of forgot that ended, right? Did they
It did, yeah.
clip that after LeBron?
They ended it because of LeBron.
Because of LeBron.
Yeah.
Okay. And you had to at least
like
clear your freshman year, right?
Well, I think it's 8. I think it was age, right?
Oh, was it
was
age? I thought it
age.
was.
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was freshman year. Okay.
It was age because it didn't matter if you. That's the reason why, like, this kid's not playing for college. He's playing in the G League, right? So he's playing in the NBA developmental league, essentially. So he just has to be a certain age to be able to be drafted.
Yeah.
But it's,
Right.
I want to
so-
say actually it's this upcoming draft, Billy. I think it's this draft because the kid's only like think he's 19, 18 or
Yeah.
19.
So what? And I'm asking the NBA experts, which is everybody else here except for me. So what prompted that? Because honestly, if you look back, so
What
Mamba,
prompted them going back, or
straight
what
out of high
them
school,
changing it?
right? And then you have LeBron straight out of high school, easily two of the most influential basketball players of the last 20 years. So
Yeah,
why would
there
they
was
say
too
no? You've
many
got to go
that-
pretend to go to college.
There was too many, I think, that went that weren't ready.
Yeah, 'cause
So
it was
it-
kind of they were both so good that a lot more people thought they could get away with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate
And it
that,
just
but
kind of
you've got
filled
all
up the
these
pool.
executives. You've got all these there's such a bucket of douchebaggery in the front office. A whole bunch of adults can't decide if a kid's actually ready to make the step. And what's the G League for? And I'm not saying don't go to college, but these kids are going to college to play basketball.
Right.
Like for a kid of that level of talent, they're not like, well, I'm going to go and I got to clear my business degree and make sure that's ready for after retirement. They're not even thinking about that.
No.
And I say this with all due respect. Like, these kids are going to be phenomenal professionals. They're going to make millions of dollars with a stroke of a pen. And I guess I'm fascinated that they put that into play and they thought that was going to be, and they're eradicating it. So clearly they realized it wasn't helping the sport. I don't think it hurt the sport.
Oh,
but
that's the thing, is that the executives aren't smart enough. If they think, oh, this guy, he might not be Kevin Garnett right now, but in a few years he could be. So we're going to draft him. We don't care if we ruin his life. He gets that one payday. He spends all his money. Then he's out of the league in 3 years, and they don't care, But I think the NBA thought, well, this will give them a little more time to develop and have them drafted after they've developed a little more, and then you really know what they're going to be. But I think they figure, guys are going over to Europe and they're going to the G League now.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're skipping college anyway, so they're like, might as well.
Yeah,
Well,
a lot of players have been either going to Euros or G League instead of doing a year in college. I think more. I don't know, but like say someone like Sharif O'Neal, who already has the name. They're better off going to the G League, where other people that really think they need to prove themselves and get more eyes would go to college to play.
Yeah, no, I appreciate
if that makes sense to what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I get you. I and help me. His name is escaping me. He played basketball, went to the pros. Now he's backed it up, and he's in NC, and he's playing golf, and he's finishing his degree. Who are we talking about? Help me. Basketball player.
Wait.
And
Oh,
he's-
J.R. Smith.
Thank you, J.R. Smith. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? 'Cause- Yeah. So he went basketball.
I didn't even hear the first part of your sentence. I read a text and I just heard golf finished degree, and I knew it was J.R. Smith.
Yeah,
That is-
I mean, I mean, they could do something like from a military concept, right? These kids that are going to do, you could sort of reverse the process, I suppose, and it's much different. I'm not trying to equate kids that are giving their souls on the battlefield to kids that are playing basketball, but hear me out. If you commit that you're going to go play for the Lakers at the same time, I guess for skin in the game, where were you going to go to school? And then have that on deck. And I know that's not going to happen for everybody, because some kids, to your point, rubber shoes, are going to come in, crush it, get great financial advisors, and they're going to be okay, and they're going to have some sort of real estate or some business interest after the fact and be okay. But then you see some kids who get smoked out. There's somebody most recently, again, I apologize, his name escapes me, and that he's been all over social media, that he played basketball for 12 seconds, and now he's homeless. And I've
Michael
seen,
Beasley.
who is it?
Michael Beasley.
You're probably right, but that name is not the name I'm thinking of. And it's I saw this.
He was homeless, and I can't remember the actual relevant person's name. The owner of the Dallas Mavericks.
I just
Mark.
Cuban,
Yeah.
Mark
He
Cuban.
helped him out.
He's
Well,
over Delonte West. He's looking at
Delonte West.
Delonte
Thank you,
West. Why did
Scotty.
I say
Yes.
Holy crap!
Delonte. Yes.
I meant Delonte West. I don't know why I said
He was
Delonte.
Delonte West
I had a
was like
stroke.
Delonte West went to college. Like, he was a great backcourt with Jameer Nelson. Like, they were
That
at
might
St.
be
Joe's.
the worst
St.
take
John's.
I've done on this entire show. That mix-up was so bad.
Go ahead, Scotty.
They were great. Like, he went to college and stuff. Honestly, with the high school stuff, they started. It was pretty controversial because they started to really kind of crack down on that. And it's not that they don't. It's weird. So it's not that they don't draft high school players, right? What it really is they up the age. So instead of being drafted at 18, they have to be drafted at 19.
Okay.
And that's what's at least that's what's changed to this point. So you can like you look at like a guy like Anthony Bennett, right? To me is like the poster child for this not being the best rule. Bennett went to college, played for UNLV, right?
Yep.
He went there, he got the exposure. Now he's from Canada, so not a lot of people saw him play, but when he got the exposure, he had one good season at UNLV. He's like, oh man, he got comparisons to Larry Johnson and all the crap there.
Yeah.
Then he got drafted number 1 overall by Cleveland, and the dude's just, hot garbage and is out of the league within 5 years, right? So it's those types of things I think that people still are, wary of, and that's kind of why, you have these different guys that go into the G League, and you got Victor Wembanyama. That's why I told you I was going to murder his name. Who's turning 19 in January.
Yep.
So he will be drafted this year since he's not going to be 19 years old. And he's the one that's, playing in the G League right now. You look at the last kind of grouping of high school kids that came out.
Yep.
There are some talent there, you know what I mean, from 2005. Obviously, Dwight Howard was the exception, but you had like Martell Webster, Gerald Green from the Celtics, who was, turned into a decent pro, but CJ Miles, Andre Blatch, Amir Johnson, like a lot of these guys are just not, they didn't work out. And I think they just wanted to change that rule.
And which, if they had another year and a half or so, they could have developed more and not burned out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about the actual Celtics game now?
Oh, we super can. I know. I didn't realize that they were making that change again, and I just don't know if it. Like, and I appreciate the age thing, but here's the other thing, and they'll do, and this has been happening our entire lives. Like everyone that is here tonight, and I'm sure Adam included, knows somebody that at some point you found out that their parents, like there's athletic families in every town, and the parents hold the kids back, so they're just gonna be older, right? I could give you 3.5 families in Chelmsford that I know did that, right? Now, so do these kids just do that? So when they get to their senior year, they're definitely 19, right? Because so Aiden, for example, will turn 18 in February. But there's a lot of kids that clear graduation in high school and they're still 17.
Right.
So they would have to. But a lot of kids that are going to, you stay back one more year, you're going to turn 19 in the summer after high school and you're ready to jump in. And I just think in the age we're in, especially when some of these kids are only going there to check a box, to sort of hang out, to wait to be ready for the NBA.
Well, baseball's been doing that forever.
Oh, sure,
How many times
sure.
that kid's been lying about it on his birth certificate? You know what I mean?
Do you remember? I don't know how big this controversy was, but I heard. Do you remember Thon Maker that got drafted to the Bucks? Mm-hmm. But he was from. I don't remember where he's from, but I know there was a bit of a controversy that they thought that they messed with something, and when he got drafted, and he was like 16 or 17 years old. Like that was a thing going around for a little bit.
Well, and that's the other side of it too. I remember when LeBron was at St. Mary's and was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, then the story started that like there's actual, G League, and it was the D League then before Gatorade branded it, right? That's why it moved to the G League, because it's Gatorade now. Yes, am I wrong? I'm right. Okay. Everyone, write it down, everybody. Every once in a while, I'm right. So that being said, there were G League / D League executives at the time going to like UAs, they were the UAA games to see who the next 8th grader was. Right. Because why not keep an eye on them in the 8th grade? Because in 3.5 years, we're going to be talking to them about leaving high school, leaving Lower Merion to come to the NBA.
Right.
So, I mean, and I remember like just a couple of years ago, it wasn't until junior year, Aiden had to be a rising junior, like done with sophomore year of high school, before he could start to talk to college coaches. Like he couldn't have a two-way conversation with a college coach until he was a rising junior, going into his junior year, right, to start the recruiting process. Right. So I don't find fault with any of it, because if some kid's going to be a phenom, but I also understand the burn rate. And I know Delonte West went to college and played in the pros, and the stuff, if you look him up on social media right now, your heart will break. And there's going to be and we know there's going to be a lot more of those stories than Kobe and LeBron. I mean, beyond a shadow of a doubt, because I always use when I'm talking to my clients here at the office. If we think about Big Papi, the one play that sticks in my head is Torrey Hunter going ass over tea kettle, right into the dugout and the cop, right? We remember all the touchdowns, we remember all the home runs. Big Papi had way more strikeouts, and the NBA that's gonna be their. I don't fault them for that, and I just think if a kid's destined to go there, to pull the rule back out is fascinating because I sort of forgot they put it in, but they did that. Which is horrifying. When did LeBron start in the NBA? 68 years ago?
20.
And let me
This is
throw
his
this
20th
in.
season.
Just as a consumer and somebody who's annoyed with him, his commercial right now with AT&T for the iPhone is an encapsulation of his entire career. If you watch the commercial, he basically negotiates with himself, gets nothing done, and takes all the credit.
It drives me nuts.
Put a bow on it. I said to my wife, I'm like, this is his entire career in a 30-second ad.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway. I'm done talking,
Celtics,
which I never do.
76ers.
Yeah, we can do that. Celtics and then the not controversy with the quarterbacks. Let's do it.
Yep.
I like it.
I mean, they beat that ass. I would love to bury the 76ers because I absolutely hate James Harden and Joel Embiid. If I'm being honest, I didn't watch the entire game, but I mean, it's weird. From the opposite of like earlier years, we actually took the game over in the third quarter and basically finished it in the third quarter and just kind of had to hold up in the fourth. You know what I'm saying?
Was it 126, 117?
I believe so.
I feel like that's the last thing I saw. Okay.
That's correct,
Yeah, I was excited. I know we talked about all the injuries, and I know I said they would have a ugly record. They're gonna get to Phoenix. They're gonna lose to Phoenix in the finals. Dumbest take ever.
Phoenix aren't even making the finals.
Sticking with it. Anyway,
the Western Conference. I mean,
I absolutely love the energy in the Garden right now. Like as soon as Philly got the ball, defense came up, and the Let's Go Celtics. It's so loud. I hope it stays like that all year.
Also helps we got the nicest jerseys possible right now.
We need like
God.
2
Can we
more
talk
hours
about
to talk
that?
about the drip.
Oh.
The drip, that uniform
You think of
is
a better
so well
uniform
done.
we've
You got to
had?
rub both sides, Scotty. Rub both sides. Rub both nips. But there you go. So good.
So
So
nice, dude. They're
good.
So good.
The cities are
Like,
so they
You
almost
think of
need
a
to
better
wear them.
jersey we've had?
What's that?
You think of a better jersey we've had?
What I do love about
like-
the Celtics unis in general is like the Colts.
I like
and-
our St. Patrick's Day one from like that one we used to do that.
I feel
think
like
that
they
was a
jack
victory
those up
time.
sometimes, but I love that the Celtics have a classic uniform that their standard home and away is just the white and green and the green and white. But I love these cities. I don't know if they have any more. Like Nike's in charge of the uniform, so there's probably 15 more uniforms we haven't seen yet. I think they did such a great job, and I didn't realize. I remember them saying it now that I think back because he passed away July 31st. I didn't realize that Russell was going to be on everybody's uni.
Yep.
And I thought at first, in the key, I thought those were lights. That's baked into the paint.
So that's going to be on a lot of courts, if not all courts as well.
I love it.
So Russell's going to be around all year. There's a huge tribute to him throughout the NBA for the entire 2022-2023 season.
I'm not going to lie, dude. They need to leave the 6 in the key at the Garden forevers.
Yeah.
I don't
it.
think they get rid of it. They shouldn't. They will. They shouldn't.
I agree. I love it. I think it's amazing. By the way, they cut to his wife, and it was a lot of confusion. Like she looks super young, but that's just like his fourth wife. So that's a part of that. But yeah, it's like I know I saw a lot of them like social media is like, is that you sure that's not his kid? Like everyone was all confused. He's like, she doesn't look like you would think she would look for Bill Russell's wife. But
Yes. Mother
she's
Russell.
lucky.
Yes.
But for the game itself, to Tyler's point, I fucking hate Embiid. Like Harden's just trash, by the way. Which I love the fact that Harden shook when I'll give him credit. He shook Marcus Smart. Smart went flying, but then he freaking shot an air ball. Like
Yes.
that was.
Yep.
Could that
Yep.
not have been better? I was
need
like,
a
that's the best part.
Quick, like 10-second rant about this. He shook Tatum as well, and I had to sit and see highlights of him crossing out both Smart and Tatum. He didn't make either shot. Neither of them count. That means nothing.
No.
You're
He
showing
did
Yeah,
the
if you
little,
shake
like,
somebody but don't make the
shoulders
shot,
and-
it's less
Yeah.
less
And also,
exciting.
also Smart like flopped 10 feet down the court anyway. So
That's the thing. That the Smart, I think, flopped more than he got shook. But
yeah,
it was it's so freaking ridiculous, man. It was just So and Embiid, the fact that like the very beginning of the second half, right? So they go to halftime tied. Beginning of the second half, Embiid and Smart get tangled up. Embiid does kind of pulls on his arm, kind of twists
it
his
was
arm
like
or whatever.
look over and walk like that.
Yeah, let me ask you. So I got wrestling experts here. To me, that looks like a friggin' wrestling move to bust someone, like an arm bar or whatever. You know what I mean? Like just something to that could have fucked him up. Could that not have hurt Smart? I feel like that was
yeah.
That could separate a shoulder. Yeah.
So I love how they review the play. They call a flagrant because he grabbed his foot because he said he grabbed it in a how did they say it? A
menacing way, or it's like a menacing or something like that. Yeah.
The touting. No, what the hell is the name? Damn it! But so they review it and they see that Embiid locks his arm in there and almost rips it out of the socket, and they don't call a flagrant on him for that, but they call a flagrant because he grabbed his foot. He didn't grab it. He reached out to it and touched it.
I mean, he pulled it. He grabbed and pulled it, but he was pissed, and I totally understand why.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? The between and by the way, when he pulled it, Embiid didn't fall because
Embiid
he pulled
flopped.
his leg.
Oh,
Embiid
he flopped.
the pole and then just
in
fell
a taunting manner. That's what it was. They said he grabbed it in a taunting manner. I'm like,
Right,
you? Oh, I'm like, basketball riles me up more than any other sport because of the stupid fouls they call, the rules that they have. That Harden throwing his foot out and landing on Horford is a flagrant foul. I'm like, how many people shoot threes and end up 3 feet ahead of where they?
That one was still a legit foul, though. Like I said to you earlier.
It's like when I shoot a three, I go straight up.
Scotty, I just realized the one uniform Rubber Shoes probably doesn't have that we need to get him in. And do we have it? We must have a show falling perilously close to Halloween. You have to get a referee shirt.
Oh yeah,
I gotta see Rubber Shoes in the stripes.
Yeah,
I want the red flag. I know the coaches carry the red flag. Don't care. I want a red flag. I want a yellow flag. I want a red card from soccer. I want an NFL hat, an NBA ref shirt. I want all of it. I want
Dude,
a potpourri of Rubber Shoes. Just.
Dude, go Hockey League, man. Just go out there. You're jacked.
Yes.
Go out there.
Yeah.
Hockey League. Go out there
Yeah.
and start
Put on the
flexing.
side. Yeah. Go over to Best Fitness in Chelmsdale. Get all jacked up. Get yoked, and then put on a size medium shirt. Right.
Exactly. Yeah,
And then we run. Not a GoPro. We run a wildlife cam in his living room.
Yes.
And just watch him pace. Right. With the lights off, because then the infrared kicks in. We just see his beady little eyes throwing furniture and shit.
Yep.
the Padres scored 2.
Steph's
It's
in the
4
bedroom
4-2
calling her
now.
lawyer.
4-2.
Yep, Padres scored 2.
Oh,
Did
I
you
love
see
that.
Did you see Smart's comment about that scuffle? By the way,
No.
This one is interesting. He said, "I'll read the exact quote, even though it's not that long."
I would
He
love
said,
it.
"I could have cracked his head open, but I didn't."
Oh,
Yes.
All
I
right.
did
That's what
that.
Smart said.
Yeah. He was pissed. He was really, really pissed.
so
I mean,
you
well, they
guys,
hated
you
each
guys
other
might know because I know we've got some beat writers on the show tonight. Is he staying green all season, or does he go get that done on Boylston Street right before the season starts, or Newbury Street, I should say? It's on
He'll
Newbury
keep
Street.
it green. He kept it green for the most of the season last year.
Yeah.
I know that. So I'm
Yeah.
sure he'll keep it green throughout
Playoffs
the year.
last year.
I mean, I would say if they go in a slump or something, maybe he changes it up. But
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
remember the Tatum haircut thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean,
So for you guys that watch, I mean, I watch as a fan. You guys watch as experts. Nobody understands that better than I do. Trust me. So what did you guys see last night that excited you, and what did you guys see last night that worried you?
I'll let him go.
okay. Me being him, I'm assuming. Okay.
being
So
him?
Because we both
what
were
excited
about-
me was that Malcolm Brogdon made it to the game without getting hurt. Really excited about that.
That's a big plus.
that was very happy. That's going to worry me throughout the season, but I was happy. He also played really well. He had 16 points. Shot well from the field. I felt like the depth was there. I felt like Blake Griffin even came in. He didn't play a ton of minutes, but like 8 to 10 or something like that, and he played well. Vonleh, I thought was gave us a nice spark. He played like 20 minutes. Like the dude was out there quite a bit, which is great though. I loved that the two Jays were super aggressive. They had 44 shots between them.
Yep.
They attacked. They both hit 34 and 35, or both had 35, something like that. The concern that I have was around the defense. 117 points is a lot to give up. Granted, Philadelphia is very talented from an offensive perspective. They're just trash on defense. But and Embiid's going to give anyone a problem. But Embiid at 24, Harden at 35, I think. But there's other players like Harris got off a little bit, and Maxey made some shots that you know what I mean. That defensively they need to figure it out. I'd like to see that step up a little bit, but otherwise, really, obviously, an overall positive game.
I agree for the most part. I'd say a big positive is, it's one game, but Tatum and Brown looked like the best duo in the league.
Agreed.
My biggest, this isn't like a permanent concern because obviously we'll get him back, but for the last, season, we always at least had either Horford or Williams on the floor.
Sure.
And it was a big problem, especially with Horford getting 2 fouls within the first couple minutes.
That was terrible. Yes.
That could become a problem throughout.
Yeah, but Vonleh stepped in good, and so did Griffin. I liked what I saw from both of them.
And I do, on the defense thing, I would like to see us get Griffin going more, because I thought, and people didn't talk much about, I thought in the Nets Celtics series last year, especially when Blake was covering Tatum, I thought Blake was fantastic at defense, and I feel like people weren't giving him enough credit, and I feel like the Nets weren't using him enough, because I felt like every time he was on the floor, he was a very big factor in the defense.
Yeah. He had 5 rebounds last night, or 6 or something like that, and 3 of them were offensive. Like he was active. He was active. He really was.
So I love the pace they played at. I know that usually hurts you on the defensive end by keeping that pace up, but I loved it. And the lesser teams, they're going to destroy if they can keep that pace up.
Sure.
The path was great. Both the Jays were great. Griffin was my excitement that he came in and got some good rebounds. I think that's key. We don't need him to be the old Blake Griffin. We need him to do what he did last night and give some guys some rest.
Yeah,
and you can put him in there. You trust him, and you don't have to worry about him. The same as throwing a rookie in there. Right. He's in vet. He doesn't cost you much money. The one thing I was worried about when I saw the box score, because I was at the fire station last night, so I didn't get to see the whole game all the way through, is that Hauser only had 3 minutes played. I thought he was supposed to be our shooter off the bench and stuff, and I was like, is he getting buried already right the first game of the season?
Yep. So
yeah, they only went 8 or 9 deep. They didn't go, they didn't have a full 10, which doesn't surprise. Peyton Pritchard didn't play at all. You know what I mean? He didn't play at all. So because Derek White started, and then with the 2 Jays and Horford and Smart, but Hauser, he'll get some minutes. They'll get minutes as the season progresses.
And I'll give credit to White. I feel like he, at least in the offseason, I think he's gotten a little more confidence with his 3. Because I feel like it got to the point a little bit in the playoffs last year where he started getting a little spooked to take them.
Yeah. He only took 1 last night. He didn't make one, but I think he looks way more comfortable. You know what I mean?
That's more, he just seems more focused in.
I hadn't seen, outside of him getting named head coach, I had no experience with him at all. I know he was on the staff with the Maine Celtics / Red Claws, and then he was a staffer under Ime. I thought the one timeout I saw where he was, what's that?
And Stevens. He's been with the Celtics for 4 years.
Okay, sure, yeah, and I guess the one timeout I saw where he was speaking to the team, loved, like, I thought he was great. I love that he doesn't have to be more than he is right now. I don't know. Like,
Well,
just,
Missoula was
he
great.
gets, I'm not going to say he gets to be a passenger.
Yeah.
He sort of just gets to keep it between the guardrails. Right.
And I felt like they overblew it on commentary, at least. Like at the end, they showed him shaking Doc Rivers' hand, and they acted like he single-handedly won them the NBA Finals. It's like, it's amazing that he did this in his debut. Blah 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 blah. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I could have coached that game.
Yeah.
It's also
Just
we also
tell
got
Tatum
like
and Brown to score for 35 points. Easy.
when it came to that broadcast, though, we also got the B- team. Okay, freaking Stan Van Gundy is the worst friggin' analyst in NBA basketball.
Shanina, honest to
He's
God,
so friggin' bad. He is.
You guys will love this.
he sucks.
She goes, who's calling this? Because like she's just, because obviously it was on TBS, TNT,
TNT.
it's on TNT, and Janina's just used to, obviously. Well, everybody misses Heinsohn. You can't. It's undeniable. Anyway, so she was like, okay, who is this? I'm like, it's Iron Eagle and Stan Van Gundy. Shit. She thought Stan Van Gundy. You're gonna love this. She thought it was Maz from the Hub.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tony Mazzarock.
Yeah, she thought it was Tony Maz, and I'm just like, nope, that's Stan Van Gundy. But yeah, I mean, well, we're suffering that, and we're gonna get to the Patriots. We're suffering that with the Pats right now because we're not getting the A team on our broadcast because we're not that team anymore, which is fine because everybody can. This just in. Hi, Mrs. Corey. Fuck off. So in the grand scheme of things, we're going to be okay. But Stan Van Gundy was a little rough around the ears. If you were listening last night, which I unfortunately had my ears on because they're connected to my soul. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Not great.
He's
Not great.
so bad. I
Yeah.
don't know why
And when you take Iron Eagle, who also could be calling a really bad AFC game, right? Like he's all over the place. And I'm not saying you have to be in one category. I mean, you've got commentators that are all over the place, but like I saw the team and I'm like, oh, not what I want.
Yeah.
Not what I want.
Not at all. And the funny thing is, I looked for like Comcast Sports, but I'm like, oh, it's not.
Yeah.
It's televised. Like, damn it.
Well, you almost at that point, and it's a little bit of a magic trick / science experiment. You turn your radio on, and then you have to just play the pause button game to line the audio up with the video. But I'd rather listen to the Sports Hub.
Oh,
and
Sean
yeah.
Grady and
get the professor. Yeah. Quack, quack.
Such a good
Yeah.
job.
He would.
Yeah.
They must have been awesome last night.
Yeah, Sean Grady's been doing it for a long time. Maxwell's the same
1,000
thing,
years.
but
Yep.
Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah,
so good.
The professor. Yes, he's awesome.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Where do we go next, boys?
I think
Pats.
there's only really one thing left to go with.
Well, no, the Bruins. We're going to mention the Bruins. They got their ass kicked
right.
last night. Bruins got their
All
ass
right.
kicked.
All right, Bruins covered. Okay, so Patriots.
That was terrible. Switching back and forth and just like that wasn't great. Although off to a good start. And another new head coach, and I think that's going to be good. I think it's going to be good.
Did they finish with 5 goals?
Yeah, 7-5 was the
Bruins?
final.
7-5. Yeah.
Like that's imagine telling someone we scored 5 goals and we
That's a
lost.
high school softball score. Anyway, on to the Patriots.
Had a chance. So they were down 3-0. They were down 2-0 really quick, and then they got down 3-0. They scored 1 at the end of the first, and then scored 2 quickly in the second to tie it up. And it was like, okay, but Swayman just didn't have it last night.
Yeah, and Swayman getting pulled didn't make me feel good either. Just not.
Well,
look
at some point you pull the goalie just so he doesn't get embarrassed anymore. You know,
Sure.
you just let him get off the ice and
Yeah, let our other goalie embarrass us.
Was not Boston's night. Was not our night. Yes.
But you figure they played the night before. They traveled to Ottawa to play a game. You know, it's a long season. They started out 3-0, which is really good. They're without Marchand and McAvoy, and they got to weather that storm. And you know, this is a great start. You know, you just got to keep there. And they actually look so they're playing a total different style under Montgomery than they did with Cassidy. So Cassidy was more defensive minded, stay back, don't let them get any breakaways.
Yep.
And as you see, it's like up and back with this Bruins team. They're giving up odd man rushes left and right. And if the goalie's not on, you saw what happened last night. If the goalie's not on, you're going to give up 7 goals. So there's going to be a lot of those games, but they're going to win 5-3, 5-2, a lot of games. Their scoring depth has been really good to start out. I think they've had 12 different players score already.
Yeah.
The Brusk has 3. The Brusk looks a total different player now.
He wanted to be traded, right? Like he wanted out of town. Unreal.
They really didn't like Cassidy is what I'm figuring.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean,
because
so it's like, oh, did Critchy really want to go back home and play in front of
making a point.
His home country? Yeah, I think Cassidy
point.
had a lot to do with why Critchy left and why Bergeron was waiting to make an announcement that he was coming back.
Yep.
It's like, I'm not coming back if he's still there. That's basically what he told the people upstairs.
Yeah. Spot on.
Yeah, and we'll see. It's a lot more exciting brand of hockey, that's for sure.
Yeah, I can't watch it. I don't get Nesson.
What happened?
I don't get Nesson. I got YouTube TV. It's the only thing that's yeah. Get the big phone.
Hold the phone.
You don't want to pay the $30 a month for Nesson 360.
No, that's a debauchery.
That's ridiculous.
That's a debauchery.
$30 a month.
No, I didn't know.
Every other streaming service that you can get 100,000 times more than you get on Nesson, you pay $10 to $15, and they want $30 to get the Bruins and the Red Sox.
So Scotty,
because I looked into it, and not so much.
Because John Henry's not listening. Do me a favor. Go to the 360 app, and I will text you my information from my account, and you will log in and have it.
Okay.
Because I'm not using that. I'm watching it on television because I pay DirecTV. Hi, still not a sponsor. Fuck off. Sorry, Mrs. Corey. It's an inordinate amount of money to watch the Bruins and the Celtics on the same night per mod because she's mad because they're playing on the same night. I love the anger in the northeast corner. Well, it's in my northeast corner, but yeah. Rubber shoes. We're very fortunate to have 4, technically soccer, lacrosse, 6 teams in town to complain about. Add the Mohegan Sun.
There's a lot of us.
7. We're getting a pickleball team. I'm buying it. 8. Sorry. We going to the Patriots now?
Patriots, yeah. Which I didn't realize that our next game is the primetime game. So that's going to be very interesting.
Monday night against the Bears.
Talk to me about the Pats.
Couple of notes there. First of all, is like how I guess I feel like this is how Belichickian of this is the fact that he is getting to play the Bears on a night that he could pass George Halas for second all time in wins. Like it's so like I feel like things like that just happen, and it happens with Belichick quite a bit. Like,
my crazy say we're gonna win by 40. Bears are so bad. Our defense is we're getting 2 pick sixes minimum.
I would love to see that. The other thing is, the other note, who would have thought about it on this panel that the AFC East would be the only division in the NFL 6 weeks in with teams 500 or above.
It's wild.
They have the second most wins combined.
We'd be at 500 and be last.
Yeah, it's like second most wins in all of.
We all thought the AFC West was going to be the best division. It's like Kansas City is good, and the rest of them suck.
Yeah. No, Chargers.
Los Angeles isn't bad. Like the Chargers are right, but the Broncos are a joke. Yeah, it's just wild. It's absolutely wild. But yeah, looking forward to Monday night.
2 of the worst divisions, because then the Cowboys, Giants, and Eagles are all lighting up. But
they keep putting Russell Wilson and the Broncos on primetime. They're waiting for them to be important.
There's 3 more games that they have in
in Rob Manfred. I know he's in charge of Major League Baseball, but it feels like he's running the NFL. This just in Rob Manfred. They're not good. Pull them off the schedule.
Yeah, they'll be flexed out of some of those prime time.
In November when they start to flex, why don't you just flex them off television? Put them on radio, black and white, standard definition. Nobody cares.
Their offense looks like it's from 1969.
God bless him. I appreciate that and I'm sure he's a good person. That's not working out. And I have no problem with it. I'm happy to see John Elway and his big fat head struggle and hopefully crash and burn. Mile high, they can, yeah. Not worried about it. I'm just fascinated. It's going so poorly.
Yeah.
It's breathtaking how bad they are.
And he's gotten worse because of like these like fake, these faux like social media posts that he keeps doing about staying positive, and whoever's creating this content.
Let Russell cook. Russell should probably just stick to making side salads. Go to sous chef. Go to sous chef. Yeah.
There's a lot of ugly football.
Is it God, I forget who's their backup right now. I want to say it's Love, but it's not, is it? Did they move Love from Green Bay to Denver? Am I losing my mind?
No, Love is still in Green Bay.
He's still in Green Bay.
Which
Who's the backup in Denver?
No idea.
And I'm not crazy. I mean, I'm crazy. Talk to my doctor.
I want to say it's some random white guy.
That's coming soon, right? Like they're gonna pull the goalie there soon, won't they?
They can't though. They have him.
No way.
Who is it? Who is it?
They're giving him $6 bajillion. They are not pulling
$260 million for 6 more years. Yeah. There's no way they're benching him.
There's no way.
You know what's fascinating? Speaking of Green Bay sucking and their bad haircuts.
Yeah.
And beer cheese. We're not mad about beer cheese. We support beer cheese. It's fascinating. Do you know? You do. But I'm going to tell people that are scoring at home that don't know. He doesn't start to get the bajillion dollars, and I'm talking about our good friend Aaron Rodgers. A-Rod doesn't start to get his bajillion dollars till the 24, 25, 26. This year and next year is still the old contract.
Right.
The extension he signed is for 24, 25, 26.
Right.
He's still playing shittily, French term, it'll be on the quiz later, on his old contract.
Yeah.
He hasn't even started to burn the new money. They're so bad, right? It's a pleasure. I mean, I feel bad for A.J. Dillon, Boston College. But other than that.
Right.
Like, who would have imagine telling someone 4 months ago that some of the sorriest quarterback play right now would be Rodgers, Brady, and Russell Wilson. Like, all their teams suck.
Watch your mouth.
It's a pleasure. Talk to us about your girlfriend, Brady. Tell me what's going on there. He's losing his mind on the sideline. Losing a Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, I'd be pissed too.
Well, all right.
God, yeah,
I don't think I mean, he hasn't been Russell Wilson bad.
He is not.
You said out loud in North America that Brady hasn't been Russell Wilson bad. Yes, that shouldn't be a sentence you form.
Hey, he still got me to beat you against Herbert last weekend or 2 weekends ago.
The league doesn't matter because we didn't draft. I know. We'll just delete it and we'll start again next year.
We made a trade, Brady for Herbert.
Steph's mad. Amy's mad. America's mad. I know.
I feel like this might be the most sidetracked we've gotten on a show. Like, ever. we like get into the main point we're supposed to be talking about and then talk about a random team.
Who's gonna start Monday night? Zappy or Mac?
Zappy.
Well, they showed the graphics on this week's Monday night, and they were promoting Zappy. They showed it was Zappy and Judon in the graphic.
What graphic?
Like the on Monday Night Football, it was like near the end where they're like, and next week, and it was like, and it had Justin Fields and someone, and then it had Zappy with Judon next to it.
Sure, I mean that's that until. Well, we're gonna know because all the beat writers are gonna tell you who's getting the most snaps.
Right.
Speaking of which, did you hear about the Ben Volen?
Yes.
Stuff? Whoops-a-daisy.
Yep.
So Ben Volen, if you guys weren't, I'm sure you guys are aware, Ben Volen came out and trashed Mac Jones, saying his attitude was crap and like he's causing a bunch of issues and all this stuff.
There was a rumor
that
Tyler, you got to quit interrupting people.
Jesus. Okay.
So anyway, long story short, there was a barstool that came out that essentially got a screenshot from the person that actually sent Volen the information. And it was not a source from within Gillette. It's a guy that actually runs a podcast.
Oh,
so
boy.
It could have literally been one of us that said,
Is his name William Corey?
It is not.
Yeah, he got mad that I was going to break his story.
It's not William Corey, no. We'd get a lot more play if it was. I think we'd see a lot more viewers.
Yeah, like It's a great, well, everybody says this until they have to deal with it. It's a great problem to have, right? Because if he is back, and I think it's and you've certainly heard this on the air if you're listening to local radio. It's recency bias, right? And we went through this while Bubba was touring schools. We'd leave a campus. He's like, "Oh, I really like it." I'm like, "Well, you just went to dinner with her. You can still smell her perfume. That's why you like that campus. You just talked to that head coach. That's why you like that lacrosse coach, right?" Recency bias is certainly at play. Let's not be foolish about that. That's the case. And I agree for a million reasons because she's a BC girl. So Coco on the morning show I listen to, sorry, rubber shoes, Courtney Cox talks about the fact that she just feels more comfortable when she's watching Zappy play. There is a piece of me, and I love him. I loved his, it's not a gritty, it's a shitty when he does it. I'm sorry, Mrs. Corey. It's when you watch Mac Jones try to do a gritty, it's not a gritty.
Not as bad as Mike Gesicki.
It's not great. Correct, sir. It's not great. That aside, I don't feel uneasy watching him. I feel more comfortable watching Zappy. So I'm definitely in her camp with that. And I love that this problem is on Belichick's plate. I think Belichick, for political reasons, whatever, the whole staff seems to be warmer with the press. But he's also, his little heart is starting to melt. And for him to be so demonstrative about his passion and love for Ramondre Stevenson, like he said love 15 times in the sentence, talking about Ramondre. So I think he's going to show his cards a little bit more. And I think he knows a decision has to be coming. Because I think with the extended week, quote unquote, Monday Night Football at home, you could probably unveil him if he is ready. Now, the rumor is he traveled, right? They were on the road last week. Yes, he traveled and woke up in the hotel room and said, "I'm not ready." Correct. And that's why they ultimately went with Zappy. So I feel like he's going to be ready this week, and it'll be really telling to see who they go with. But we're also probably going to know tomorrow and Friday who's getting the most snaps because everybody's focused on this story, and it's exciting to have this problem again. I just don't know. I don't think there's a wrong answer. I think there's a right answer. There's a lot of wrong answers. I just don't. I'm so intrigued to see what he's going to do. Because whatever he does will be wrong in half the people's minds.
I feel like you got to put into a fact a little bit that I feel that the offensive scheme has seemed a lot different under him. So my gut tells me I would like to see us at least try that system that we've been doing with Mac Jones.
Couldn't agree more.
If he performs just as well, if not better, then you're good.
Yep.
But I say, if it's not looking great, then
they're building momentum. They're building juju. The calls are getting more comfortable. They're developing a scheme and a system. So give him a chance. But I think a lot of people have said he's got to be on a short leash.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he will be. But it's funny that when Mac first got hurt, the initial thing was a lot of reports out of the Boston media was that, he's going to get, he doesn't want to be rushed back. He doesn't want to be rushed back. Right. Mm-hmm. And now it's like every week it's like, is he coming back? Is he coming back? Is he?
Yeah, the first week he was
4 to 6 weeks.
Rumored.
Like he wanted 4 to 6 weeks to sit there and say, I need to make sure that I'm 100%. And he got shit for that. Sorry, Mrs. Corey. You know what I mean? He did. He just there was a bunch of people out, we're all fired up about it. Now that Zappy's playing great, I used the word, Billy, sorry.
Oh,
there it is.
He's, as well as Zappy is playing, we've kind of forgotten about that, and now we're just ready to take, Mac and move him to the side. I think that to both of your points is that the offensive play calling, the schemes, everything is a lot smoother now than it was the first 3 weeks of the year. But that is like any other season. The first 4 games is really a crapshoot. Just trying to, it's feeling things out. What's worked, what's not going to work, whatever. And that's what I mentioned a couple of weeks ago. I said they're going to get better. And if they weren't getting better, then there would be a drastic change. But they've gotten a lot better. Now, I will be the first one to tell you I'm tired of I'm going to show left and then hand off right. I think they ran that play 6 times or 7 times, if not more, and they got nothing out of it this past week. But there's still certain plays that I wish they would just sunset and never bring back. But overall, I think they're doing a lot better. I see Zappy playing this week back until he's 110%. And I think that's something that he said since day one, that he's not going to come back until he's 110%. So
Yeah.
I see Zappy playing again this week.
No, great point, because he knows he's got to be, to your point, 4,000% ready. Because if he goes out and he knows physically he's not capable to perform at a high level, he's gonna get Wally pipped. Like, he's got one shot to come back and make it work, or people are gonna be like, no, he doesn't have the juju. You got to go back to Zappy, and then we start the conversation, which is also horrifying, about dealing somebody. Which, yes, they'll need to do, because somebody's making 4, somebody's
this
making
year,
millions. What?
It won't happen this year because November 1st, there's only a couple of weeks till the trade deadline, and they're not going to make that decision with
because you've got your future quarterbacks coach is still in protocol, and I think he's got and I love Hoyer.
Wait, not wrong.
He's got to have an honest conversation with his wife and his family and his future, and just be like, I'm grabbing a clipboard and a visor, and I'm going to just go do that. And I love to think they're going to keep him on campus. Like, he's been here so long, just move him to the sideline officially, right? Like,
I think they will. I really do. And I think honestly he'd be a great coach. The other note, and I'll let Billy jump in, is that Jason McCourty was on Good Morning Football this morning. I don't know if you guys saw this. There was a big bowling thing that the Patriots put on last night or 2 nights ago.
Yep.
And McCourty was there, and he came on to Good Morning Football on the NFL Network, and it was like basically talking about that there really is no dissension. Like, there's no, like, the players aren't treating Mac any different than they're treating Bailey. You know what I mean? Like, they're all like, Mac is still Mac. He's still like, and everyone talked about it before the season started, how well he gets along with everyone. And you could see it if you ever watched it. I don't know if you watched the behind the scenes, like, mic'd up stuff. Pat's posted some stuff already. Like, Mac was like in, high-fiving, just pumped on the sideline, like gave, dapped up Zappy after a touchdown pass, all that stuff. Like, so there's no, like, the whole Volan thing about the attitude and stuff like that. It's just funny now that
Trolling Volan.
Yeah, exactly. It's all coming out. It's all BS. You know what I mean? And it's hilarious how certain people just want to get out there and be like, oh, I'm first. But I don't know. Billy, we haven't heard from you yet, buddy. Go ahead.
Yeah. Tyler, you had your hand up. Did you want to say something?
Oh,
when he brought up the trade deadline, it's kind of an interesting one. I think it's something that's going to play out in the next few weeks, especially getting close to trade deadline. But I did want to bring up that Kendrick Bourne, like, kind of sort of hint, wink, wink, was trying to say, like, he wanted to get traded. Like, he didn't outright request a trade or anything, but he kind of basically went out and said, like, yeah, I wouldn't be opposed if teams try to trade for me. Like, I'd be cool with that. Like, I wouldn't be upset.
I'd be surprised if they did that, only because Bourne is only got 3.5 this year and 3.5 next year. Right, where Nelson Aguilar is a free agent, right? He ends. So if they're going to trade a receiver, I feel like it's going to be Aguilar. But to your point, Ty, I know he's not super happy with his role. Now, if they trade Aguilar, then his role, his role becomes a lot better. But the fact that Tyquan Thornton is getting reps out there and Bourne's not, you know what I mean, is kind of a telltale sign that there could be some moves there.
It's more something to watch to maybe he might actually legit request a trade.
Could be.
Which I could see happening. Which I wouldn't really get on his ass for it. You know what I'm saying?
He's been in the doghouse, definitely.
Well, before Nelson got here, he was Dr. Drops a lot. And he's still Dr. Drops a lot. So I'd rather see Kendrick stay. I think Kendrick is definitely, I just want to be higher on the menu.
Kendrick's more of a Debo type of player, you know what I mean, like a Debo Samuel type of player, where he can make a lot of things happen after the catch, and things. I'd rather keep him than I agree, Timmy, than keeping Aguilar. Go ahead, Billy.
So what? Do you guys know Greg Bedard? Mm-hmm. So he's on with Felger and Maz every Tuesday.
Yep.
He was on yesterday, and he watches all the footage, all the film, and gives everyone points for and points against. And but he was saying that definitely the offense has they pretty much scrapped the stuff they were trying to put in during preseason in the first couple of weeks. They've gone away from it. That zone blocking, they haven't tried to do any stretch run plays. So if they've gone away from it and they're going to give Mac Jones a chance to play with the offense that he learned last year, which Zappy's been playing with the last 2 weeks, I think we're going to see Mac Jones look a lot better
Yep.
than he did those first few weeks. I think Mac Jones will be playing Monday night because they really want him against the Jets the following week, because the Jets 4-2. I mean,
Yeah.
they're a little scary right now. They kind of look, their defense looks really good, and so Zach Wilson doesn't look great, but their defense looks pretty good. It could be a defensive battle next week. But I
give them one credit out of their last 3 wins to get them to 4-2, and that's the fact they beat Green Bay. But they beat Miami without Tua, and then they beat Pittsburgh, who's just trash. So I don't know. I mean, I know that they beat Tommy, but outside of that, like, I don't know. I agree. Look, I also hate the Jets. The Jets to me is like they're high up there for me from like a hated perspective. Like, I hate them almost as much as I hate the Yankees and like the Lakers. Like, they're up there for me just because of like Rex
They run
Ryan
high
and
in your douchery column. Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
huge douches, big douches. Is that okay, Mrs. Corey? Hopefully that's
No,
okay.
no.
So
Dude,
she
I'm
only
gonna tell
has
you
a
right
problem
now,
with me
we're
swear.
installing a tip jar.
Oh, okay.
We're installing a tip jar. A crisp $3 bill goes in every time you use a word that Mother Corey doesn't like, and we're gonna get her a remarkable holiday gift. Yes.
She only cares about him. So if I say
think
we're
I'm
going
like-
to
I'm
beat the Bears,
300 deep,
because
though.
the Bears look like shit, she doesn't care.
Oh no, no,
No.
dude! You report right to the throne. That's your grandmother. Are you out of your marbles? Dear
I think
Lord.
she cares when it's me, or she's thrown off when it's me.
Yeah, she's
'Cause-
like, well, the Lindsay kid, he's an asshole anyway. So see there, I did it. I already did it. Anyway, all right, boys. Vegas has the Pats currently giving 8 and the over-under at 39.5. So what do we got before we wrap this up and put a ball on it?
I say we'd go over.
Give us a score, kiddo.
28-6.
That doesn't go over.
It does not. You're right. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was 8 points.
No, he's talking about the spread.
The over-under,
John's talking about
total
the spread.
score.
No, the over
Over-under
means like the
39.
totality of the score.
Yeah.
Oh, word. Well, that's my score prediction. Forget what I said before.
What did you say? 28 to who?
6.
28-6.
Good guys or bad guys?
Patriots.
All right. Go ahead, Rubber Shoes.
All right. I have Mac Jones is going to start. He's going
Oh,
to
I like this. All in.
3 touchdowns. They're going to win 27-10.
Wow. I like it.
Ooh.
I like it. Wow. All right. Timmy, you want to go next? You want me to
Dr. Dukes, go ahead.
go? All right, buddy. 31-17 Pats.
Ooh.
I agree with Tyler. I think the defense is going to give Chicago a ton of problems, but it'll take them a quarter and a half to figure out exactly what they're doing. I see Montgomery scoring for Chicago a little bit early on, and it'll be a little bit close, but then basically very similar to what happened with Cleveland.
I don't know if the Bears know how to score on offense, though. Like, legitimately. That's my thing. I don't know if I can see them scoring over 10 points in any game.
Yeah, it's yeah.
We're going over here in my camp. It's going to be ugly. A lot of kicking, I think. 27-24 Bears in overtime.
That was a curveball.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
so,
full of
you
it,
know
kid.
what?
No,
I'm
because he's
sick-
staying to his 8 and 9
Ty,
prediction.
I'm
Yeah.
sticking to my 8 and 9.
But
I'm sticking to my 8
I
and 9.
almost was gonna pick the Bears just because last week I picked Cleveland and the Patriots won, and
No.
believe it or not, I really am a Patriots fan. As I showed,
As
sent
am I. I
everyone
want to
the
be
picture.
wrong.
I
want to be wrong.
had the Bucks were on, the Green Bay was on, and the Patriots were all on at the 1:00 games, and I had my
So
Patriots
conflicted. Just start wearing the stripes. Wear a referee shirt.
But I had my McCourty jersey on because there's no Mac Jones. So I really want to wear my Mac Jones jersey Monday night. So that's why I'm hoping he's playing.
Rubber Shoes, the C-suite is going to buy your shirt. So I need to know, what size are you? So I can go one size smaller. You are going to be Dora the Explorer, the referee.
I wear extra large.
Oh, so I'm getting a medium. All right. I can't wait. I'm so excited for Halloween. When is the Halloween episode? Hang on. Before we sign off, let me grab a calendar here. What's What's doing?
Halloween's
What's
the-
doing?
Next week.
It'll
It'll be next
Wednesday.
week.
It's going to be
26th.
Wednesday the
Halloween's
26th.
26th.
All right. Well, we won't have the shirt in time because the shipping lines, because the Mississippi's dried up, but we'll talk about that later during the debates. Anyway, we're definitely getting you. So you're an XL?
Yeah.
I'll get. Well, you know what?
Cool.
Because
Do a search and see if they have one at Party City. Maybe I can swing by the Party City in
I
Chelmsford.
think for
no,
quite a-
I've got the answer. I'm doing a women's lodge.
This sporting
I
goods usually
Literally
has-
started typing women's into
it
my
will
search
hug
engine.
the
I
hourglass,
just
if you
started
know what I
typing
mean.
that. I just started typing that to my search engine, being like women's large ref shirt. That's
Yeah,
exactly
get
what
me
it
the
was.
get me the
Sporting
link.
goods
Get me the
have
link, Scotty. Well, I will ship it right. I won't use your address. I'll ship it right to the address I
that'd be a
have
great way
etched
to
on my
show
heart.
doctor.
Oh,
Corey
actually, I'm at the
Industries.
fire station next week. I can't wear it.
Yes, you can. You wear it under your uniform. Listen. Leonard Fournette still wears his LSU shoulder pads under his uni. Anybody paying attention can see that. Jordan wore his UNC shorts under his uni the entirety of his NBA career. You will wear a women's medium referee shirt under.
It keeps getting smaller.
Oh, I can't wait.
After you
so
get
excited.
it.
Extra small by the time we
but,
get
the,
there.
but the thing is, it's not a 100% chance that I make it on the show at all next week.
All right.
So.
Well, we'll have to save it. We'll have to save it for the week after. We'll save it for the week after. All right.
We could do the show Tuesday or Thursday.
Now
Can
we're
you see
sticking
my
to
screen? I'm trying to
Wednesdays.
share a screen. Is that good enough right there? I think that looks good.
Oh,
There's a
hang
little
on.
color it.
Oh, I love that you're doing this. Stand by. Stand
Can
by.
you share my? Can you see my screen? Or not?
1,000% can.
Yeah, look at that. I think it looks good, Billy. I think you got a little zoom in right there.
Yeah.
Tyler, I
all
look
it is.
like Aubrey.
Come and
The
knock
ref
on
from
our
AEW.
door.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah.
Oh dear. Oh god. Oh, this my
is
wife
how
is
we
gonna be
cut
so
the-
mad.
I
I
don't
feel
think-
like
I don't think I
that
can
picture
fit
his
into
baby's
that.
got back.
I
I
don't
feel like
think
when
that'll
Rubber
get
Shoes
on
throws it
me.
on, it's gonna be baby's got crack. But anyway, it's gonna be great.
That was a bad one.
We appreciate you checking in, atbshow.com, for all the links, all the accoutrements. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. We'll be back at it next week. Rubber Shoes may be in the Dora the Explorer referee halter top or boob tube. I don't
Love
know
that shirt,
what's
by the
I don't know
way.
what's
Love it.
appropriate. What are we allowed to say? Not really sure. Anyway, thanks for checking us out. We'll see you in and around the internet. Rubber Shoes, as always, every morning, not just weekdays, every morning on the
Henry
Institute.
Cavill's back as Superman, everyone. You gotta love that shit. Love it.
What is
Henry
it?
Cavill's back as Superman. Henry Cavill's back as Superman. They
Well,
brought him
I
back.
asked you last night too, and we're gonna absolutely figure out a way to, in a PC way, of course, have Adam for Halloween dress up as Black Adam.
Yes.
It's a slippery
Yeah, no
slope, but
blackface,
we're gonna
but
figure
yes.
it out. We're gonna figure it out. Adam's live on assignment for Universal Studios. If you see him and his wife and their two daughters, make him sign your forehead or your chest. Either way. I think that's it.